These night vision cameras caught things that are absolutely terrifying. From a woman living secretly in someone's house to clowns with knives knocking at the door and ghostly apparitions, these cameras caught some of the most horrifying footage. Disturbed lady intruder. The homeowner was fast asleep in his bedroom when a disturbed lady dropped by to say hello. She had brought along a set of keys and tried to use each of them to get the door to prop open before her. At one point, she even used the key at the doorbell camera itself, showing clear signs of intoxicated behavior. She then threw rocks at the homeowner's car to try and get those locks opened. But when her efforts did not see fruition, she walked away and was never seen again in the neighborhood. The homeowner was in for a spooky surprise when he woke up and saw the footage recorded by the doorbell camera. Scary man captured pounding on the door. This CCTV camera captured a scary scene outside the house at night. A disorderly man made his way to the door and started knocking. At first, he did not do anything threatening. But then, he started pounding on the camera and tried to get the door to open. He rammed himself against the door and really tried to get it open. The terrifying sight is enough to send shivers down your spine. But it gets worse when he starts muttering unintelligible words. This really scares the homeowner, who threatens to call the police on the man. The man immediately moves away, claiming he was looking for his dog. Somehow, I really doubt that excuse. The vengeful ex. A woman and her son were in their home alone when the woman's ex-boyfriend decided to come to her house. First, he tried to remove the doorbell camera from the side so that his face would not be recorded. When that did not go as he intended, he came back with a cloth and covered the doorbell camera to hide his actions. A few minutes later, the woman's son ran in panic to her when he saw a huge cloud of smoke coming out of their car. They called the police, but the damage had already been done. Her ex had set their car on fire, completely obliterating the vehicle and destroying some parts of the house. Killer clown on loose. Imagine waking up to this. Everything seems normal until a clown walks into the frame in the middle of the night. This clown was on a deadly stroll with a knife in his hand. About the time when the killer clown joke was at its peak, there were some robbers and murderers who took advantage of the scare fest. This fella is one of such people who used a clown costume and a knife to attempt a robbery at a house. But he failed miserably when the doors to the house did not budge. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened if any of those doors had been open. The terrifying arsonist. It is one thing to light up a fire in revenge, but what if your house attracts a random arsonist whose only motivation is to burn? This doorbell clip revealed the horrifying act of an arsonist who popped by in the middle of the night and caused a lot of destruction. He brought along a gas can that he emptied on the porch and caused a massive fire. Soon, 2 houses and a car were completely engulfed in flames, damaging a wide area of the property. The homeowner had no criminal ties and claimed that he had no idea why anyone would do something so horrible. Mysterious orbs floating near the house. The man was sitting peacefully on the porch, testing out his new camera, when he spotted something mysterious. There were some strange orbs floating around in the air. At first, he ignored the creepy row of lights bouncing off in the air, but when the little orbs kept coming back in the footage, he knew something was up. The man got up to see if he was missing a dust mote or a cobweb, but the air was clear. He only saw the orbs flying around in his camera. Were these actual ghost orbs or just a weird reflection? Let us know in the comments. The lurking robber. This young robber had come armed to attempt a burglary at a house. What looked like a huge sword to scare off the inhabitants and a bag to hide treasure, this man was recorded by the doorbell camera without him knowing. The footage shows him lurking around the porch trying to find a way in. He stays there for a good amount of time, trying to fit his small bag with as many things as he can find. Once he was happy with what he found, he left with his bag of stolen items, never to be seen again. Alleged kidnapping captured on the doorbell camera. In this bone-chilling footage, the homeowner witnessed a live kidnapping scene recorded on his doorbell camera. A woman can be seen coming to the house with a panic-stricken face and a series of hurried footsteps. She furiously knocked at the door multiple times and was recorded looking back with fear in her eyes. A few seconds later, she was heard crying for help when a man closed in on her. The man was later identified as a 20-year-old who had forcibly grabbed the woman and had taken her away with him. He was charged with kidnapping for his crimes. Strange figure caught on the night cam. The homeowner was going through his night vision cam's footage when he spotted something quite strange in one of the clips. A transparent human-like figure had appeared out of thin air and was walking along the porch. It appeared to have had no face and did not make any noise when it walked. It marched on for a couple of seconds and then disappeared. The house owner ran his own check after he saw the footage and could not clue together what had appeared on his doorbell camera. The bear thief. A bear had dropped by the house and headed straight to the vehicle. He probably smelled the wafting aroma of the crackers and had to get inside the car. He sneakily opened the door of the car, went inside, and ate a bunch of crackers to fulfill his cravings. After the steal, he did not leave. The bear popped his head out of the car door with his glinting eyes. There was no hint of remorse and only a bold feeling of success for pulling off the professional robbery. Creepy clown bashes the house pumpkin. The doorbell camera caught a creepy clown doing a pretty disturbing act in the middle of the night. This clown slowly made his way to the porch and grabbed a pumpkin sitting on the ground. He then turned around to face the camera and pulled the pumpkin high in the air. With an unfazed look directed straight to the camera, he smashed the pumpkin with multiple punches. The clown did all this without breaking eye contact and blinking. Either this is a huge prank or some unhinged pumpkin serial killer is out there in a clown costume. Explosion caught on camera. In this night cam footage, a horrible explosion was caught live as the smoke filled the air and a terrible noise followed. The explosion had been due to a leaky gas problem. No one had been hurt in the incident, but it did do a lot of damage to the nearby residents. Attempted kidnapping scene, recorded live. This young boy was out for basketball practice and was headed home late in the evening. When he was on his usual route, he spotted a sedan following him. He kept his head down and continued walking the same route. Soon enough, the sedan pulled over beside him, and two men in their 30s opened the back door of the car and showed candy to the young boy. They were obviously trying to lure him in with the sweets. The boy did not pay attention to the kidnappers and ran straight to his home with hurried footsteps. He tried opening the front door of his house, only to find it locked. All this time, the sedan can be seen lurking at the end of the street. When they found that the boy was not let inside the house, they reversed the car to come near the boy, but he shouted back and picked up some rocks for his potential defense. The boy ran to his neighbor's house to escape the madness and locked the door behind him. Triplets hide from a ghost. This footage gives me chills. The baby camera installed in the room shows the three kids crying out to each other about a monster. They were all pointing at the same space and were visibly terrified of whatever the thing was standing before them. All of them then hid behind the closet to save themselves of the horrifying ghost. Now that could be kids being kids. Only it happened again, and this time with proof. Later in the night, when they were all asleep, a transparent figure was spotted passing from one end to another. One of the toddlers woke up and went to her mother, complaining about the presence of a ghost in the room. Was this just kids imagining stuff? Or was there really someone there? What was the ghostly apparition we saw? So many questions, yet so few answers. UFO spotted in the sky. In this spooky footage, a duo of friends were out recording the night sky. Little did they know they would capture something so strange. Right there in the sky, they captured a UFO, a column of small spheres, all lined up in the shape of a cigar, flying upwards. The satellites would usually appear as single spheres moving horizontally from one point to another. The duo firmly believes that what they saw was a UFO. What do you think? Ghost plays hide and seek in the room. If you think this store looks creepy, you haven't seen the most horrifying part yet. The nightcam footage recorded something truly strange. The lights would go on and off multiple times, and a loud whooshing sound can be heard every time the illumination is dimmed or brightened in the room. At one point, the lights completely go off, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds, and then when it comes back on, something right out of a nightmare happens. Out of the piñatas on the floor emerges a monstrous head that looks directly at the camera. Then it disappeared again the next time the lights dim out. Whoever owns that store needs to abandon it as fast as they can. Creepy shadow makes a scene at the hotel. This mysterious clip released on the internet ticks all the boxes of a creepy scene taking place at the hotel. First, the source of the video is unclear, which raises more questions than intended. Secondly, the events of this clip become more and more bizarre the more you look at it. The woman can be seen entering the empty corridor while she is on her phone. As soon as she is halfway inside, the plant at the end of the corridor tips over and falls with a large thud. This scares the woman as she moves back in fear. But the thing that happened next shook her to her entire core. A mysterious wind moved and blew the woman's hair in a flurry. This sent tremors of fear down her spine as she ran out of the door with hurried footsteps and visible panic on her face. But there was another scary thing that the keyboard warriors spotted. At the end of the corridor, you can spot a strange shadow moving past in a fast motion. As soon as it glides, the mysterious turn of events takes place and leaves the woman in a trembling state of shock and fear. Triangular vehicle spotted in the sky. A strange vehicle was spotted in the sky by a fellow videographer who had been doing random recordings. This triangular-shaped vehicle gave the impression of a mysterious UFO and did not resemble any of the normal satellites. Its motion was just as eerie as it remained suspended in the air for a good amount of time. Clown creeps up at the door. What is up with clowns showing up at people's houses like this? In this footage captured by the doorbell camera, a creepy clown can be seen slowly making its way to the door. He stays there for a few seconds, pops at the camera to say hi, and then leaves. This is not the kind of guest you would want showing up at your door in the wee hours of the night. The invisible roommate living for free. This man was worried about his food getting eaten out of the fridge. He inquired about this with his girlfriend, but she denied the accusation. So he put up a camera to catch the intruder in the guilty act. What he saw was more disturbing than anything he ever imagined. A woman who has been living in the vent came down, skimmed through the man's fridge, and hoarded the food. She even urinated in the sink. Apparently, she had been living with them for days, stealing food and creepily using the house at night when everyone would be asleep. Flying orbs. Raid the house. This family had been witnessing some strange stuff happening inside their home for the past 2 weeks, so they decided to put up a camera and see what was really going on. But what the camera recorded scared the inhabitants to their core. The footage starts normally, showing the empty room. But then suddenly, a row of tiny orbs spiral in. The small balls of light fly at a blazing speed from one point to another. They zoom around the room for a while before disappearing. The family seems to suspect a ghost. They even spotted a figure roaming past the door seconds after the little orbs disappeared into thin air. Creepy man found lurking near the house. This homeowner found a scary clip stored in their night cam. When they saw the footage, they could not believe this had happened. A creepy man was captured crawling around the back of their house. He had been on his knees, trying to get a good look inside. He even tried to hide behind a car so the passing vehicles wouldn't notice him. Turns out he had done this before, too. I would call the cops real quick if I was them. Thief caught on camera. A man had misplaced his phone and decided to pull the security footage to see if he had forgotten it somewhere. But what the night cam video showed deeply scared him. A strange man had come strolling into the house unnoticed. As soon as the thief got in, he crawled along the living room and stole the homeowner's phone. He had a knife in his mouth, ready to attack if the need had arisen. All the while, the homeowner was fast asleep in the same room where the robbery was going on. The possessed baby. This couple saw a very bone-chilling footage on the night cam set up in their baby's nursery. Their baby was sleeping peacefully inside the crib. Suddenly, the baby got up, climbed on the edge of the crib, and started wailing in the strangest voice. He was screaming at the top of his lungs in a frightening voice, almost as if he was in pain. The parents believed that their baby was possessed. Seeing him balancing there like that, the parents may be right. Disturbing stalker, caught in the camera. Jerome and Ashley Kennedy had been living peacefully with their baby girl in their house. But for the past month, the Kennedys had been hearing loud noises from their attic. At one point, they even saw a light being flashed inside the room from above. Scared about the noises and thinking about a possible intruder, they decided to install a camera inside the attic. And what they saw was extremely disturbing. Their neighbor had designed a removable wall between his house and the Kennedys. He would crawl into their attic and was waiting for a creep show. The couple even found multiple drilled holes in the wall that separated the creep's house from the Kennedys' house. He had been spying on them for a month. Creepy intruder caught on the camera. In this disturbing footage, the night camera caught a stranger standing at the top of a little girl. The girl woke up to find an unrecognizable man staring back at her. Horrified, she screamed at the top of her lungs, scaring away the intruder. The little girl ran to her mother, who closed the door and called the cops. But when the police arrived, the creepy stalker had already been long gone. They were able to identify him using the footage, though, and caught the culprit. Man gets interrupted by a ghost in his sleep. This poor guy was drifting off into a deep slumber when loud bangs started going off in the middle of the night. The guy woke up due to the sudden disturbance, but ignored it to go back to sleep. But the paranormal activity was just beginning. The doors of the closet propped open and then closed with a blaring thump that scared the sleeper on the couch. He got up and froze in his place when he saw the doors banging against each other for a good few seconds. This guy needs to move houses. Bear attacks the camera. This night vision camera caught something rather strange. A bear is seen walking by, which is quite strange on its own in an urban area. But as soon as our grizzly friend passed by, something snapped inside him. He turned around and took a huge leap towards the camera. It opened its massive mouth to gulp the recording device. Only its long teeth were visible, trying to gnaw and chew the inedible meal. The camera was not damaged too much, but it sure showed us what a terrifying sight it would be if you got snatched by a bear. Stalker caught on the night camera. This mother, along with a baby, had just arrived home. But unbeknownst to them, a creepy stalker was behind them. He had been following them for some time and had parked a few houses away. He got out shortly after the victims exited their car and slowly made his way to the house. First, he tried to ram the door open. When he couldn't, he knocked on the door. But that did not get him anywhere either. Even after his failed attempt, he was seen outside the house through the camera, roaming for a good few minutes. Thankfully, the scary stalker did not manage to hurt anyone. The uninvited guest. This house owner had been hearing strange sounds in his home, so he decided to put up a night cam to see what was causing them. But what he discovered was not something he had hoped to find. The footage shows a dining chair moving across the room. Suddenly, the front door pops open and is slammed shut with a loud thud. The homeowner claims that he had locked the front door just minutes before the incident. So what really happened? No one is sure. That's all from our side on the scariest of night vision clips that have shaken us to our core. What did you think about these videos? Which one gave you goosebumps? Let us know in the comments and share with us your own terrifying encounters. If you liked our video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Until our next video pops up on your feed, have a good day.